Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 6 of the April daily draws. So as we start a new week, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Good Fortune Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have Temperance. The blending of the elements. The alchemy of bringing everything together and making it flow smoothly and harmoniously in balance. And she's got a toe in the water, a toe on the earth. She's got the water coming from cup to cup. She's got the fire on her chest, the symbol for it, like in the original. And this is really bringing everything into harmony, keeping things flowing in a smooth, harmonious way. Different elements, the practical day-to-day elements, the physical elements in the earth, as well as the emotional elements, keeping them working together. Body, mind, spirit, all working together in unison. Nothing kept under careful control, not repressed, but kept flowing in a controlled, focused way rather than an excessive, wild, uncontrolled manner. This means bringing things, it's almost, to me, allied a bit with the Strength card, with that inner strength of resilience and keeping things, the wilder side of things, the excessive side of things, keeping that down so it doesn't get out of the control. The energy is still there and flowing, but it's channeled in a creative and constructive way. It's not just allowed to just burst forth wildly, creating all sorts of chaos and situations that we can't control because of that excessiveness there. So it's the not neglecting one thing at the cost of another. As I say, it's keeping that harmonious flow of our energy, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, all together flowing. And we've got the silver cup, the gold cup. You've got different elements there that you're blending together, and the flowing between them. So everything flows together with the Temperance card, and in it's sort of like temperance is almost like moderation. Not getting excessive, not overdoing it or underdoing certain things. It's keeping things flowing together. And that is where our strength lies at this time. Because it does provide us with that strength. As I say, that's why I believe this card is very closely tied or allied with the Strength card, the Temperance. So, and to tie in with Strength also, when you temper, where the Temperance comes from, where it is about, it's about moderation. It is about restraint, not letting things get out of hand. But sometimes it can come from blending two opposites together. If you just focus on one, it can become excessive and out of control. But blending them together, they sort of lessen each other enough to make them more manageable. Another example where the strength comes into me is like when you temper a sword or temper metal, like when you used to temper swords. To strengthen the blade, they would subject it to intense heat first. The smith would the person forging the sword would heat up the blade to so it was glowing, it was it was really hot, fiery, and then they would cool it with the cold water, and that would make the sudden change between the really hot to the really cold would have an effect on the blade where it would strengthen it, make it tougher, and give it more resilience. And when we blend all the aspects of our being together in an harmonious way, in a focused way, not just, coming in with the heat of the emotion, which could get out of hand and cause fiery arguments and other chaotic sort of dramatic situations, where it's tempered by our spirit, by our mind, putting a control on it, but not letting everything getting out of hand, but working together harmoniously. That toughens and strengthens and makes our spirit more resilient to whatever we're dealing with, because we're bringing every element together, not just one. Sometimes we have the heat of fire to make us more, in a period of transformation, because like the sword example again, the metal is more easily moldable and can be shaped because the heat makes the metal more softer and malleable. But then when it's cooled in the water, then that quick sudden change causes the toughening. So and it's tempered, the sword is tempered then. So when we go through these times of life, it brings about strengthens us and makes us more resilient. And when we bring all these elements of ourselves together, with the emotions, with the physical well-being, the mental clarity and focus, our spiritual sort of feeling free, a free spirit, bringing all those in together and channeling them together rather than letting any one of them get out of control, getting them all to flow together. That's the key here, and that's where our true strength and effectiveness will lie. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Here we go. And we have, if I can pick it up, this always happens. This always happens when I've had this so many times where we get a card like Temperance or Strength, and then we have a card, this, when I use this deck, this card always seems to come out alongside She-Wolf, Unleash the Wild Within. Now, that seems to contrary to what I've just said. But sometimes we need, again, it's the balance, isn't it? Too much restraint can be literally too much. It can, it is kind of like a different side to this, but isn't that the point? We need both things at the right time coming together. We can unleash the wild within, the fieriness within, at the right time. You see, that it's at the right time in a controlled, focused way. We can be wild, let the wild within come out, but with focus, channeling it in a productive way. If we just let it be released without any control, then that's too much of a good thing. Even the wild part of us, it becomes too wild. But we do need that wild aspects of ourselves working in unison with a more restrained part, and they go hand in hand. There's a time for this, and there's a time for that, and if you bring both of them together instead of just one, then that's where we become more whole and more of a complete, true, authentic person, because we're acknowledging both sides of our nature. We can do this. We can be these two things at the same time, and the way we express it is under our control, and that's the point. The way we let it flow is literally in our hands, and that's the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 7. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.